George Floyd case.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. We come on the air with breaking news. Just moments ago, President Trump posted a video to Twitter from Walter Reed Medical Center giving an update on his own condition after he tested positive for COVID Thursday night. Here it is.
I want to begin by thanking all of the incredible medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, everybody at Walter Reed Medical Center. I think it's the finest in the world for the incredible job they've been doing. I came here, wasn't feeling so well. I feel much better now. We're working hard to get me all the way back. I have to be back because we still have to make America great again. We've done an awfully good job of that, but we still have steps to go, and we have to finish that job. And I'll be back. I think I'll be back soon. And I look forward to finishing up the campaign the way it was started and the way we've been doing and the kind of numbers that we've been doing. We've been so proud of it. But this was something that happened, and it's happened to millions of people all over the world, and I'm fighting for them. Not just in the U.S., I'm fighting for them all over the world. We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly. So many things have happened. If you look at the therapeutics, which I'm taking right now, some of them, and others are coming out soon that are looking like, frankly, they're miracles. If you want to know the truth, they're miracles. People criticize me when I say that, but we have things happening that look like they're miracles coming down from God. So I just want to tell you that I'm starting to feel good. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days. I just want to be so thankful for all of the support I've seen, whether it's on television or reading about it. I most of all appreciate what's been said by the American people, by almost a bipartisan consensus of American people. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I very much appreciate it, and I won't forget it. I promise you that. I also want to thank the leaders of the world for their condolences, and they know what we're going through. They know what, as your leader, what I have to go through. But I had no choice because I just didn't want to stay in the White House. I was given that alternative. Stay in the White House, lock yourself in, don't ever leave, don't even go to the Oval Office. Just stay upstairs and enjoy it. Don't see people, don't talk to people, and just be done with it. And I can't do that. I had to be out front, and this is America. This is the United States. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the most powerful country in the world. I can't be locked up in a room upstairs and totally safe and just say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I can't do that. We have to confront problems. As a leader, you have to confront problems. There's never been a great leader that would have done that. So that's where it is. I'm doing well. I want to thank everybody. Our First Lady is doing very well. Melania asked me to say something as to the respect that she has for our country, the love that she has for our country, and we're both doing well. Melania is really handling it very nicely. As you've probably read, she's slightly younger than me, just a little tiny bit. And therefore, we know the disease, we know the situation with age versus younger people. And Melania is handling it statistically like it's supposed to be handled. And that makes me very happy, and it makes the country very happy. But I'm also doing well, and I think we're going to have a very good result. Again, over the next few days, we're going to probably know for sure. So I just want to thank everybody out there, everybody, all over the world, specifically the United States. The outpouring of love has been incredible. I will never forget. Thank you very much.
And Kelly O'Donnell is live at Walter Reed Medical Center. Kelly, this is a rather long post from the president, over 4 minutes. We know he's always been active on social media, but how significant is this message?
Well, I'm very struck by the fact that both as a patient, the most watched COVID patient in the world, and as president, his his own communications director, insisting that not his doctors to speak for him, but that he could give an account of his own medical condition, and also a candidate not able to do the rallies that we know he loves. This was the president trying to make a very political statement by talking about his desire to get back, talking about some of the steps that the country has taken with therapeutic medicines and so forth to get the country back, rewriting some of the history about being told to stay in his room in the residence and that he would not do that, and describing that as an act of leadership. The president, of course, also thanked medical personnel, spoke about the First Lady's condition. We are told she has much milder symptoms than he does. But this is the president grabbing his own message, even as a patient of a potentially seriously ill disease, and not being satisfied with the White House or his doctor speaking for him, communicating directly to the public. That also has the benefit politically of showing the president that people can assess for themselves if they think he looks well, if they think he sounds well, if he's able to function. That may calm some of the markets, some of the international community, which is certainly necessary for any U.S. president, but one just 30 days away from an election did not want to be out of the spotlight and out of control of his own message. And so we see Donald Trump leading the way, talking about his own condition, his future, and his politics, while thanking the American people. Jose?
Kelly O'Donnell just outside Walter Reed. Thank you very much. I want to bring in NBC News senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres. Dr. Torres, earlier today we heard from the president's team of doctors. Now we're seeing and hearing from him after speculation over just how sick he is. He's not in a bed, at least in these 4-minute videos. He's in a suit and a table. Talk to us about what you can tell about his condition from this and why the visual is so significant.
And Jose, it truly is, a picture's worth 1,000 words, especially as a physician, because regardless of vital signs, regardless of lab values, getting your eyes on a patient to see how they're doing is extremely important. And what I saw here is a man, 74 years old, who is sitting up, he's talking, he's carrying on like he normally does, and that's a good sign, showing that he is fighting off this coronavirus as best he can. Granted, he has great medical care. A couple of things I saw, a couple of points. Number one, he's talking in long sentences, and that's important because that means that his oxygen level is good enough to have him talking those long sentences. But also towards the end, seemed like he was getting winded a little bit. And I think that's probably an indication of he still has this coronavirus. He's still fighting off this disease. And he himself brought up a good point that the next couple of days are going to be crucial at finding out how he's going to respond, how he's going to do fighting off the disease, and whether his symptoms are going to get worse. But overall, I think it was encouraging to see him sitting up, to see him talking. 4-minute conversation, that's a long conversation for a patient who's sick, but at this point it looks like I would, again, we talk about mild, moderate symptoms. I think in this case, moderate symptoms would probably take the whole deal here.
But critical is these next 48 hours.
Exactly. These next 48 hours are everything. And I think I said moderate symptoms. I meant mild symptoms. He looks like he had mild symptoms in that video. Over the next couple of days, that 7 to 10-day time period is the important time period, because that's when symptoms for coronavirus can start going down. That's when people can start getting more crucial complications from coronavirus. And he's not quite there yet. That's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday time frame they're going to start looking at. So my guess is they're going to observe him until then. They're going to keep an eye on him, and they're going to make sure that he gets plenty of rest. That's important. And putting out videos like this, occasionally is going to be okay, but not doing much more than that. And you notice he is sitting down. He is, essentially supported by the chair, supported by the desk, and that's important that he gets the rest he needs to recover, because again, he still has a recovery process. And even when he gets out of the hospital, he's still going to have a couple weeks of recovery after that, because coronavirus is not that quick to get rid of. It lingers on for a bit, Jose.
Dr. John Torres, thank you very much. Jeff Bennett has been following the new developments with the president. Jeff, several members of the president's inner circle have also now tested positive for COVID, including late-breaking news about one who is now in the hospital.
That's right. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who today announced that he had tested positive for coronavirus, and later this evening announced that he had checked himself into a New Jersey hospital, he says, out of an abundance of caution due to asthma. Now, we don't know the specific path of transmission, but we do know that Chris Christie is one of the people who had been hunkered down with President Trump over the past few days and weeks leading to this week's debate, because Chris Christie helped President Trump with debate prep. And we also know, Jose, that Chris Christie was among those who attended an event last week that is now under new scrutiny. It's that event you see there on your screen. This was last Saturday in the Rose Garden, the ceremony where President Trump announced Judge Amy Coney Barrett as his next Supreme Court nominee. Hundreds of people in the Rose Garden. Very little, if any, social distancing. Very few, if any, masks. Well, now, 7 days later, you have 8 people who attended that event who've now tested positive, to include President Trump, the First Lady, Kellyanne Conway, President Trump's former senior advisor, Chris Christie, 2 U.S. senators, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Mike Lee of Utah, the president of Notre Dame, and also a journalist covering the event. And then beyond that, there are other people in the president's inner circle who have also tested positive, to include the 2 people who are leading his re-election apparatus. You have his campaign manager, Bill Stepien, and the head of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel. So it is a stunning development, Jose.
Jeff Bennett, thank you very much from Washington, D.C., and we will have much more on this story throughout the evening on MSNBC. For all of us at NBC News, I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Good night.
We're all finding new ways